Welcome to Jeff's Changes for Life. I'm excited about a brand new series of videos breaking the chains, overcoming self-sabotage. As always, I have to take care of the disclaimer. This program in no way, shape, or form is a substitute for anybody that needs professional medical or psychological attention or treatment. Having said that, that brings me to Episode 1, Recognizing Self-Sabotage, the Hidden Ways We Hold Ourselves Back. Have you ever felt like you're standing in your own way? Like every time you take a step forward, some invisible force pulls you back. What if I told you that something isn't the world, isn't other people, but it's actually you? Self-sabotage, it's a hidden enemy that lives inside all of us. It whispers doubts, it feeds procrastination, and convinces us we're not ready, not good enough, not worthy. But here's the truth. You don't have to live this way. You don't have to be your own worst enemy anymore. And today we're going to expose self-sabotage for what it is, understand why it happens, and take the first step toward breaking free. Self-sabotage isn't always obvious. It doesn't scream at you. It whispers. It convinces you to delay that dream, to settle for less, to stay stuck in the familiar, even if that familiar is pain. So, what exactly is self-sabotage? It's when you unconsciously or even consciously block your own success, happiness, or growth. It's the invisible wall you keep running into, and you don't even realize you built it yourself. So, how do we see what those are? How do we learn to recognize what might be holding us back? Well, the first thing to look at is procrastination. The I'll do it later mentality that leads to never doing it at all. Negative self-talk, that inner critic telling you you are not good enough, smart enough, or capable. Fear of success. Believe it or not, some of us sabotage ourselves because deep down, we're afraid of what success will require of us. Overthinking and indecision. You analyze so much that you never act. You get stuck in a loop of what ifs. Toxic habits and distractions. Doom scrolling. Staying in relationships that drain you. You choose comfort over growth. Sound familiar? You're not alone. But why do we do this to ourselves? That's the real question. Self-sabotage is rarely random. It's usually rooted in something deeper, something that started long before we even realized it. The first area that I would look would be fear of failure. If I don't try, I can't fail. Simple, right? And we do that in our lives a lot without even knowing it. We catastrophize what may happen in our head so we can say, see, I told you that's not going to work. But in reality, avoiding failure means avoiding growth. Every successful person has failed more times than they've succeeded. The difference? They keep going. The next area to take a look at is fear of change. Our brains crave stability. Even if our situation is painful, at least it's predictable. Change means uncertainty, and uncertainty is scary. But without change, we stay stuck. Next, we look at unresolved trauma and conditioning. Sometimes we self-sabotage because we've been conditioned to believe we don't deserve better. Maybe it was a critical parent, a toxic relationship, or years of rejection. Over time, we internalize the voices until they sound like our own. And lastly, low self-worth. Deep down, You might feel like happiness, love, or success isn't for you. Like you're meant to struggle, but that's a lie you've been told, not a truth that you have to live. The good news, now that you see it, you can change it. So, how do you know if you're sabotaging yourself? Let's get personal. Ask yourself these questions. Where do I keep repeating the same mistakes? You've been in 10 relationships that never seem to work, and the description is they're no good, they're the wrong person, they're doing things, but the variable is you. So, are you catastrophizing the relationship so that it doesn't work? And you can say, see, I told you it wasn't going to work out, and you're living in a safety net. So, to take that a step further, ask what excuses do I tell myself most often? Are you resolving it the same excuse as to why it's not working? Then you have to dig even a little bit deeper. When have you pulled away from an opportunity out of fear, not taken that first step to move forward because you're afraid? And then lastly, what story are you telling yourself about why you can't succeed? And that's an important one. That is the fabric and culmination of the things that are stopping us, sabotaging our success. You know, it's an interesting thing. If you write down the story that you're telling yourself and you look at it, all of a sudden, all these things start jumping out that probably aren't true. So let's pause for a minute. Really think about your answers because awareness is the first step to change. If you can see the patterns, you can start rewriting them. Let's dive into the first steps to breaking free. Recognizing self sabotage is powerful, but awareness alone isn't enough. You have to take action. Here's where you start. Step one, catch yourself in the act. Pay attention when you're making excuses. When you hear that voice saying, you can't do this, challenge it. Number two, rewrite the narrative. Replace I'm not good enough with I'm learning and improving every day. Shift your internal dialogue. Step three, take small, intentional actions. You don't have to overhaul your life overnight. Start small, one step at a time. Step four, accountability matters. Tell someone you really trust about your goals. Write them down. When we keep things to ourselves, they stay dreams. When we put them out into the world, they become plans. So again, this is a person that you really trust, that you know has your best interest in mind and is going to support your efforts and not say things to bring you down. Self sabotage thrives in the dark, but once you see it, you can fight it. Today, you've taken the first step. You've recognized it. Now it's time to break free. In the next video, we'll dive deeper into how to rewire your mindset to replace self-doubt with confidence, hesitation with action, and fear with growth. If you found this valuable, share your thoughts in the comments. Let's start the journey together because you are capable, you are worthy, and your future, it's waiting for you to claim it. As always, this is Jeff with Jeff's Changes for Life. Today is gonna rock because we're reclaiming ourselves. We are doing away with self-sabotage.